Hold on, I just got to check my title here. Oh, that's right. Who rides a motorcycle with a bedroll? I do, apparently. Let's get into it. Well, that was successful, wasn't it? Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So the detectives amongst you would have noticed that this is not indeed a bedroll, but it's more of a symbol of a bedroll. And why am I using a picnic blanket as a bedroll? I'll tell you. Okay, so I watch these videos and I see people with their bedrolls. Oh yeah, I gotta have a bedroll on my bike when I go off camping. And I gotta say, here, from my experience here in the UK, nobody uses a bedroll. If they do, they're not using it effectively. And one of the reasons is most people in the UK don't sleep under the stars, as it were. And if they do, they just won't use a poxy little bedroll or a picnic blanket like you see in these videos from California or Arizona or wherever it's dry and hot. Yeah, you can wear a kind of Mexican style kind of rug, essentially a blanket. That's all it is. What, just to keep you keep you from getting dusty on the ground. But let's face it, it's not going to keep you warm at night, even if you've got another layer in there. So you need a proper bedroll. And the ones that you see on the bikes, similar to this, but that Mexican side, the ones on Vicla bikes or trailer bikes, whatever. Yeah, they're not keeping you warm. Certainly not here in the UK, even on a hot day like today. No, not alone. So what do we use here in the UK? Well, we use tents, we use sleeping bags, that kind of thing. I'm not saying you can't use a bedroll, but you're going to use something else as well. You're going to use a tarp, just to keep the moisture away from you. You're going to keep maybe have a tarp over the top, or a proper tent. But just a bedroll in itself, and I got the feeling that a lot of these people who are making videos or people who are riding with them, it's more for show than anything else. But for here in the UK, very, very few would ride with just a bedroll. Now, let's face it, if you're going to sleep beneath the stars and do that motorcycle camping, that cowboy style camping, with nothing more, just a blanket, let's face it, well, there's only very few situations that you're going to be able to do it. Certainly in Europe, certainly in the UK, because of the inclement weather and the nature of things. But also, let's face it, who wants creepy crawlies crawling all over you in the middle of the night? I certainly don't. And in the morning, you're gonna have all dew and everything all over. It's just not a nice experience, is it? But if you've got a proper sleeping system, like a proper bedroll, that's got multiple layers, and you've got a waterproof outer layer or canvas outer layer, and you've got proper blankets in there, and you can fold it over yourself, and you can put it in a proper sleeping system, yeah, fine. And then you can strap that to the bike, no problem, either on the front, probably a bit too big for the front. More likely you strap it to the rack on the back, right? And that's what people do here in the UK. They strap all their tents and their sleeping systems, whatever it is, onto the bike, and away they go off camping. But just to have one of those Mexican style bedrolls here in the UK, no. If they do, it's more for show. It's more for show. And if they do, they've also got a tent and they've got everything else on there, which they'll just actually get into the tent. So instead of using a sleeping bag, they'll just use that bedroll. But just riding with a bedroll alone, nah. Now, I could be completely wrong, of course, and I'm sure there are people out there saying, no, I definitely ride with a bedroll. Okay, fine. If you do, you do. I haven't seen it, and most of the time it's either on a tent or something like that. If you are going to do it, you're essentially doing what I would do, and that is just sleep rough. If I'm caught out somewhere, I've just got a picnic blanket and I'm just sleeping on that, or I'm just sleeping just on the ground, as it is, sleeping rough. Now, why am I making this video? The reason why I'm making this video is not to criticize anybody who rides with a bedroll, or who insists I've only got a bedroll. No, it's got nothing to do with that. I saw the videos the other day when I was kind of researching this video about bedrolls, but I saw these videos where these guys in California, God knows wherever they are, but they've got fake bedrolls, and it's essentially a stereo that's disguised as a bedroll on their bikes. I mean, come on, what the hell's all that about? So it just goes to show that people are using them just for effect rather than for any function. And well, in their case, they use them as a function, as a stereo that's hidden away. I just think it's a bit... I don't know. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think? If you want a stereo on your bike, put a stereo on your bike. If you want a bedroll on your bike, put a bedroll on your bike. But don't have a stereo that's disguised as a bedroll. It's just a bit... What can I say? What can I say? But will you ever see me riding around with a bedroll, a proper one? Yeah, I suppose if I was going off camping, but it wouldn't be just the bedroll. It will probably be a tent or some kind of shelter. I think I made a video last year where I said, you know, if I'm just riding around in the summer, I'd have a very light sleeping system, overnight system. I don't really go in for the big tents and all that sort of stuff. If I'm doing winter stuff, then yeah, no, I'd be definitely with a tent and proper sleeping bag system, and you know, something to insulate me from the ground and all that kind of good stuff. But just riding with even a proper bedroll, right? I know this is a picnic blanket, so you know, I'm just doing this for effect, and you know I am. But even if I had a proper bedroll, I'd be very surprised in myself if I just did that on purpose. If I'm caught out, then essentially I'm just putting anything on the ground just to prevent myself getting really dirty. That's it, and hopefully just not getting damp from the morning dew. But that's about it. It's sleeping rough as far as I'm concerned. That's sleeping rough. Anyway, let us know in the comments below, do you think I should get a stereo disguised as a bedroll? How do you think it'd look on the heroic Harley? Maybe I should learn how to tie one of these things properly in the first place. Look, it's gone all wonky all over the place. Anyway, I thought it would because it was naff. Right. Anyway, I'm going to take this off now and put it in my panniers, or just strap it to the back, and away I go. Maybe I will go for a proper picnic now. Yeah, I think I will. Catch you again. Ta-da.